Other than Tom Curry's obviously iconic
Did you
performance,
just say
but
Tom Curry?
that's what I call him. He's a good friend of mine, and he has told me that his real name is Thomas, not Timothy. Hey everyone, and
Here we
welcome to
are.
Why Are You Still Here? And today we're taking a step back. We're we're going back to our roots, so to speak, because for the longest time now, we have covered things like TV show reviews, movie reviews, our thoughts on movies or movie trailers or whatever. We've become a very movie centric channel, entertainment centric, video games, that kind of thing. Um, but what we
Media
started
based.
off as media based, sure. What we started off as was tackling different subjects. We would talk about conspiracy theories. We would talk about physical media. Like
Yep. Remember
every
those
single
times.
week, we would come up ghost stories. We would come up with something that we were interested in that we thought other people would be interested in, thought wrongly. And we did that, right? Which sucks because there's some episodes from the past that are really, really good. Like I look at ghost stories and I look at conspiracy theories. Like I
Hmm.
think those two are particularly good. Um, but whatever. We kind of went away from that because we realized that's not really what people were interested in. We weren't getting the same views that we would get when we would do a trailer review or a movie review. And so ultimately, even though we're not making money at this yet, we are sellouts.
Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight.
Right? So we'll give the people what they want. Unless something comes along where we're like, that's just too good not to talk about, right? And this was one of those. I have two ideas for episodes. This is one of them. The other one
Hmm.
we will discuss at a later time. But
Yes.
anyway, I was watching a video about the Resident Evil 4 remake, RE4R. And this guy basically went into all the reviews that were saying how great it was, and he tore them all apart and said that the game really sucks and it's just a perfect example of remake culture, of just remaking things for the sake of remaking them and not improving them at all, and all this kind of stuff, right? And an example he used of people doing this, he's like remaking a movie. There's never been a good remake. He said that. And I was like, well, that's wrong. And not only has there been good remakes, I get that most of them are bad. I get that.
Hmm.
But not only has there been good remakes, I'm going to take that a step further and say there's a slew of remakes that are even better than the original. They
Yes.
surpass the original, right? So that leads us into the subject today. Better than the original, our top five. Originally,
With
if I
two
had
honorable
enough room,
mentions.
it was going to go in the original. No way, our top five, but no room for no way. Yes, and five of them, two honorable mentions. I cheated. I have three. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, honestly, I could make like a top 50 remake list, I
I
swear. The more I
know.
thought about it,
I
I'm like, and
know.
to be fair, a lot of them are horror movies, which is fine.
Hmm.
But there are a couple in there that aren't. In my list for there's only two of the seven that I have written down that aren't horror movies, but
Okay.
I got you.
I have a couple that aren't. And a couple that I think will be surprising to people as well. They'll go, "That's a remake," and I'll say, "It is."
I have
And
a feeling that we both
that
have
proves
this
my
movie on
point.
our list
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I think that
because it
there's
was
going to be
like
a
one of the
lot.
first things that came to my mind when you
Me
brought it up.
too.
So
Me
cool.
too. And my top three, four, five, all of them, really make me go, I don't know how that guy could have said what he said. Like these are like he must not know that these are remakes because these are all phenomenal movies.
Yeah, right. It's like his favorite movies of all time, the top 10 list. It's all remakes, and he has no idea.
That would
That'd
be
be
really funny actually. So yeah, it was very easy. The only thing that was hard about this, obviously, you can see that I have 3 honorable mentions. It was hard for me to get it down to a top 5
For
because there
sure.
are a lot of them. And again, these aren't good remakes. These are remakes that surpass the original. That it's almost like it's made the original irrelevant. Basically like Resident Evil remake, right? That game makes it so you never have to play the actual original Resident Evil game ever because the remake has made everything better about it. So it's like that. Like the original could go disappear and you'd just not care.
Well, some of
Um
these movies I would care, but
you didn't do your assignment correctly. Anyway,
I mean,
so
all of these are they're better to me, but I mean, sometimes you still want to see the original. You're crazy.
interesting. I'm not saying like see it like once. Like once you see it once though, if you could live the rest of your life never watching again but only watching the remake.
Yeah, that still counts for this.
Okay. Because people might say, Rob Zombie's Halloween is awesome, but I would probably shoot the person that said that surpasses the original. You know what I mean? So
And
that's
they
all I'm
exist.
saying. They actually do.
I know.
The people exist that say Halloween Kills is the best of the series. Those people exist too. And same thing with those Scream 6 people.
Yep.
Anyway,
Anyways,
so yeah.
so we're not going complete lightning round, but we're not doing our usual 5 minutes apiece because when we have what do we have 13 things to talk about, it's impossible. So just so you guys know, for the one guy who the only person who ever said we didn't talk enough, thanks. Here's to you.
Yeah, this is for you right here. Hopefully we will earn a subscribe from you over this. So for anybody watching, feel free to play along.
Yes.
Is your list the same as ours? Different? I don't know. I don't even know what Lucas is going to say. Sometimes we cheat at this because we're like, we need to make this concise as possible. So we'll cheat so we're not surprised. I have no idea. I didn't want to spoil it because I thought it would be
Very
cool if
good.
both of us had 2 completely different lists, but
Which I'm sure we do. I'm
I
sure there are a
hope.
couple movies that are the same. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm thinking most of them will be, but yes, except a couple because I am unique in certain ways
So
that
am
I
I.
know that you don't like. I mean, not that you don't like, but you're somewhat ignorant to the ways. You'll see
Okay.
when we get there.
All
All
right,
right,
let's do it.
so start us off. What are your honorable mentions?
So this movie has ever since Brandon has really like knocked the horror fan back into me, and I stopped looking nostalgically at all these stupid movies that I enjoyed as a kid, which for some reason I tend to obsess over. This has just completely changed to an honorable mention, but I could. This is one for
Oh,
sure.
I know what you're gonna say.
I've never seen. Well, not that I'm okay. I've seen the original once. I don't ever want to see it again. I don't care about it. I don't own it. I don't think I ever will. And that's The Hills Have Eyes.
It's breakfast time.
Yep, I knew it.
Ding, ding, ding. Bingo.
Good.
Yahtzee.
Very good. It's like it's part of that torture porn period of time with House of
Yes.
Wax
And
and
Hostel, which I love House of Wax. That's better than the original as well.
yeah, yeah,
It's campy
yeah,
stupid.
I
I love
guess.
that
I mean, they're
movie.
both terrible, but I guess it's a little bit better than the original. Vincent Price is actually in one of my
Oh, I know.
not
Oh,
not
I thought you were saying he's in the movie. I know
he
that.
is in the movie, and he's also in the original of one of my movies I think is also better. Um, all right. So what's your other honorable mention?
The Ring. I love that movie. I love the American
Ringu.
adaptation. Yes. Ringo.
What was The Grudge? You on The Grudge?
Something. We'll put up a
Because it looks like
thing.
Ju-on,
It is a Juon, one of my favorite horror films.
but I don't
Yes,
think it's
that's what it looks
Ju-on. I
like.
think it's Yuan.
Very
I
good.
think I have no idea. All right, so those are your two.
Yep.
Did you have a third one just to throw in?
God, now that I'm on the spot, I'm sweating. Hmm.
How about I go and then you
Dawn of the
can
Dead.
see if you want to share one of these? Okay. I mean, I fervently disagree on that one, but because I really like the original.
That's fine.
The original is
Obviously,
it's a
the
classic.
original.
Yeah. And nothing against Zack Snyder. I am one of the biggest Zack Snyder fans in existence, but
We know.
okay. So mine honorable mentions are first off, this is not a great movie, but it is an iconic movie, especially for me and my childhood, and that is House on Haunted Hill, which was
Okay.
the original one, had Vincent Price in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie is terrible. I'll be honest. I'm sorry if I'm crapping on anybody out there that really likes that original movie, but a skeleton dangling like from the ceiling, and I get that it's supposed to be fake, but a skeleton dangling from the ceiling and stuff, I'm like, I don't know about that. But the remake is pretty damn iconic. Again, not a great movie, but I think about it. I still think about it to this day. There's a house I walk by at night, not the one you've seen, but a house I walk by that's kind of like tall and it's white, and it just reminds me of the house on Haunted Hill, you know. So
Very good.
I don't know. I think it's super cool, and being stuck in a house, you know, overnight, you know, that you know is haunted and you can't like it's not even an option to get out. I think that's pretty cool. This one is one that is a great movie. It's leaps and bounds better than the original. My God, I've seen the original. And that might make you sad though once you hear what it is, but that's Ocean's 11.
Red, that's a kick in the head.
So
That doesn't make me sad. I will admit that Ocean's 11, the remake, is a better movie.
so much better.
It is. I mean, the other movie is really a product of its time, you know, and there's like a 40-year difference. I totally get it. It's fine. I mean, I do
Yeah.
agree that it is a better movie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's good. It's so good. Like it is like an iconic, again, another iconic movie. If it wasn't for me liking some of these other movies more, this one would have been in my top 5. And then the last one, which actually gives you a little bit of a hint at what that other subject might be that we're going to talk about sooner than later, and that is the Friday the 13th remake. That
Yes.
movie is so much better than the original that it is laughable. Because guess what's better than the original in that series? Everything.
Very
Everything is better than the original in that series. So that might be what we might talk about at a future time. But all right. So Lucas, what is your number 5?
This was a movie I forgot that I loved because when it came out in high school, all of my friends loved this movie. This was one franchise that we saw like every movie as it came out, and they got progressively worse. And you're gonna be like, this is really on your list. Maybe in another year I'll think I'm an idiot, like I do with every single list. But you know how much I love the Planet of the Apes remake?
Caesar is home.
And I'm
That's
not talking,
interesting.
obviously, I'm talking about the newest version, not the Mark Wahlberg one, which, you know, another remake of it.
Okay. See, that's what I thought you were talking about was the Tim Burton one.
No, hell no.
Interesting. Yes,
I
that's a
love
good
that first.
movie.
I love that first one. They're just that. And again, guys, we're gonna just like one thing per movie. I don't want to harp on it, but just the scene when Tom Felton is like, get in your cage, you filthy ape, just like, like the line. And like you don't know that he's about to talk and he just says no, and then all the monkeys rally after this motherfucker. You see him going. I mean, that movie's awesome.
No!
That movie's great.
It is a great movie.
I do have some nostalgia for the original one. I've seen it a handful of times, but the remake is awesome. And I didn't really care for the second and third one all that much, but the first one is like, that's a good
one has
movie.
Gary Oldman, which is what got me to the theater to see that. And it has that part with like the mean monkey like acting stupid, like playing with the gun and
and then he goes
and taking out all the soldiers. Yeah, that was good. Yes, interesting. See, I'm not trying to crap on you because this is it is a good one. I always looked at it as a prequel to the original series.
You know, I guess I can see that.
But that's fine. That's just me. But good movie though. Agreed. Very good.
Very good.
James Franco, where did you go? Anyway, so my number 5, this is one of those where people are gonna go, that's a remake, and yes, it certainly is, and that is 1983's. I think I got that year right.
Yes, you did.
Say hello to my little friend.
Scarface. It is fantastic. It is, my God, it makes it so like, I mean, it's an awesome movie in its own right, but you know, is one of Al Pacino's best performances, and that's really saying something when you have The Godfather, Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico. It's just so good. It's so I'm just gonna say that for almost everything, it's iconic. It has affected several generations of people, and you know, nobody will ever forget the chainsaw scene in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Very good. Really good. Yep. And just like Taxi Driver with the "you talking to me? You talking to me?" like that. Say hello to my little friend has become part of like the pop culture consciousness, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
And the original is
exactly. And you can't go in any college dorm in America for the last 20 years without seeing the Scarface poster in there. So there you go.
Yep.
It's great.
Agreed.
Iconic.
It is great. And the original is like whatever. Product of its time.
For sure.
I'll steal your saying there. Yeah, so I like it. I think it was 1983. Is that right? Okay. All right, so what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Evil Dead remake.
Interesting.
The first movie is fine, but the remake is just damn good. And I do have my ticket already for Thursday for Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds like it'll be a nice short video for you, or
it's gonna be a double feature
and then a full video.
It's gonna be a double feature, so I'm gonna go see The Pope's Exorcist right beforehand and then go right after. So it's gonna be it's a double wombo combo for Weish.
When we started this channel, I never thought that we would be at a time where you were seeing more movies than me.
Dude, after I got that A-list, $20 a month, I get 3 movies a week. I mean, anything that I even think, I'm gonna go see Dungeons and Dragons at some point, because why not? I'm gonna have exhausted all of my options. So yes, here we are.
Awesome. Yes. And we saw Renfield, if anybody was interested. And
the definition of mediocre.
I was like, why didn't Lucas do that short that he promised he was gonna make? Oh, okay, I get it. Because I was like,
everybody else loves it but us. So whatever.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'll do a short. I'll do a short. And I was like,
it kind of lost steam halfway through. But yes, that was my number 4.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. My number 4 is a really great movie, and I hope most people have seen it. Oh yeah, ever since I just saw this when I was a kid, it just stuck with me. And
It's impacted you.
it has. And that is Willard, starring Crispin Glover.
Mm.
It's like the animal lover's dream and nightmare, but not for the animal lovers, for the non-animal lovers of the world, if you get what I mean. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Basically, if
Huh.
somebody doesn't know what that's about, it is a guy that befriends a rat named Socrates. In the original, it was Ben. Um, and he ends up using them all as like his army. And there's like this really cool scene of the movie where the elevator doors open and rats come piling out like
Yeah, I've heard about this movie. I haven't seen it. I didn't know it was a remake.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's something left to add to my watch
The
list.
original starred Bruce Davison. Um yeah, which you've seen him. You might not know him by his name, but you've seen him in tons of things. And yeah, it's so good. I would like to say I'm surprised you haven't seen it, but
But you're
nothing
not.
surprises me with you
No,
anymore.
no, absolutely not.
But yeah, it was a really good movie. It was like Crispin Glover's like real, I guess, comeback, you could say, after Back to
Huh.
the Future. And it was just so cool. Again, he basically uses the rats to take revenge on his
It's
like
pretty
bullies
badass.
or his enemies. And it is really cool. Remember the Michael Jackson song Ben?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That
okay.
song was written for the original Willard.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very interesting trivia.
Yeah. But elevator doors open, all the rats come piling out. I think it was a trailer moment because it certainly should be. And he's bringing them like into his workplace to take revenge. And he's standing in the middle. Like it's so cool. Like all these rats are coming out and he's in the
Mhm.
middle of this like tower of rats and there's like a few on his shoulder and stuff. And so it's just like that's what I would love to do, you know? Because
Very good.
somebody's mean to one of the rats at one point and he gets his comeuppance.
They'll love it. Very good.
So good. Number 3.
Friday the 13th.
That shit ain't fucking right, dude. What the fuck?
I mean, that makes that one movie alone makes more than half of that franchise completely irrelevant. I love that movie. It's awesome.
It is.
I mean, I can't really add anything else to it. We'll end up talking about it more when we cover Crystal Lake, but yeah, that movie just kicks ass. That was one of the high school years movies, and those were just awesome.
It is. It's really good. It's definitely better than the original by a landslide. And I can't say it's better than 2 or 3, which is sort of the other subject that is covered in that movie, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
oh well. Oh well. 4 and 6 are the best. Anyway, my number 3, you have to have this on your list. I'd be shocked if you didn't. But that is John Carpenter's The Thing. I don't know why I'm doing this.
I don't know either.
But I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. This is what inspired my list. Once I started putting the list together.
Very good.
I was like, that was the very first thing that popped in my mind. That and my number 1. It is incredible. It is literally, it takes everything from the original and just amps it up to a billion.
Oh my God. It is just a practical effects lover's wet dream.
It is.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's a true work of art, really.
It is. I wish it was more appreciated when it came out because it definitely seemed to affect certain people's careers, including John Carpenter's, and it shouldn't have. Imagine if it was looked at as the masterpiece that it's looked at now.
Mm-hmm.
John Carpenter's career would have turned out very differently moving forward from that movie. You know, I'm pretty sure that Escape from LA probably never would have happened, and Ghost of Mars, and some of those lesser John Carpenter movies. But yeah, it's incredible. Kurt Russell and John Carpenter make magic happen,
Oh yeah,
basically. Yep. Yep. I love it. Not much
agreed.
else to say about it other than it's just
Hmm.
fantastic. It's like a paranoid nightmare, basically.
Yes, indeed, it's a roller coaster of a movie.
It
So
is.
my number two, 1983, Scarface. Not going to harp on it again, but yeah, and the video game.
Oh
Obviously, I didn't
yeah.
finish it, but I played for a couple. I play every game for a couple hours before I shelve it for a year. But I mean, a GTA like game with that movie, it's awesome. And then obviously that inspired like The Godfather and everything afterwards. So totally cool, totally
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. And the game Scarface, The World Is
The world is
Yours
yours.
is was definitely a seminal piece of my childhood as well. Love that. Love that game. And that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
All of it's just
indeed.
so good.
Your number two, lay it on me.
My number two is something that I don't think that you would have thought of even if somebody came up and beat you with a stick. And what's sad is it should have been. It should have been. Anyway,
Which is
it is a movie that came out just a couple years ago, and that is The Invisible Man. This movie is it's incredible. That's all I could say about it. It is
yes, it is.
absolutely incredible. Starring Elizabeth Moss. Have you seen it?
I own it.
Oh, I never knew that. We've never talked about it. Um,
I'm keep talking about it. I'm 100% sure I own it because I have seen it. Keep talking.
okay. It took the concept of the Invisible Man and made it dramatic. Yes. Made it dramatic and made it serious. You are so invested in this woman's story. The scene in the restaurant, awesome. If you don't remember the scene in the restaurant, the knife comes up in the air
Hmm.
and slits the person's throat. Like, it
I
was
completely.
incredible.
This movie is so incredible. I mean, obviously, I remembered I've seen the original. I've seen all the classics. But holy shit, this movie is so surpassable. I com yes, and it's not on my list, and I'm very upset now.
I'm
I have to
happy
go in
that
the
you forgot
past.
about it.
I have to go in the past and hit my roll up a newspaper and just back of the head.
Yeah, it's so good. Basically, it had every reason to be sort of goofy like the original. But it just wasn't. Yeah, obviously nothing taken away from the original whatsoever. It
Hmm.
is goofy. It is, but it also was a visual effects like pioneer, like the scene where he actually
100%.
takes his bandages off and all that kind of stuff. That was and the way they did that was super cool too. Like they painted him black up against a black screen behind him and stuff. So it was definitely cool. It's just not something that is sticking in a lot of people's minds, but this movie absolutely will. So I look forward to what Universal has up their sleeve next. It's
For
been a
sure.
ton of things that they've circled through and cycled through, and obviously uh the pandemic changed that. Can't say that word on YouTube for some reason. But it messed it up a little bit. But there's more coming. There's going to be Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein and
I'm excited.
Wolfman and all that kind of stuff.
There was Frankenstein and Dracula and Wolfman too. Dancing with some zombies, what a ghastly crew.
So
It's gonna make
absolutely.
it's gonna make me go back and get like the 4K Universal set.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched those in 15 years. It's been forever. God, that's awesome. Thank you for re-bringing this to my attention, as this has been collecting dust since I bought it. That's awesome.
Absolutely. It's
Very good.
it is very good.
All right, so here's another one that you have on your list already. So I'm just gonna have to mention it because we've already talked about it for the last year, and that is The Thing. Awesome,
It is
awesome,
awesome.
awesome.
It is. I agree. I agree.
I want to play The Thing video game.
That video game, I've never played it, but I've watched like Let's Play videos online about it, and it seems like it's pretty terrible.
Well, you know me. I have morbid curiosity with movie-based games, so
Unintentional thumbs down.
I
I have to try it
remember
out.
seeing it as a kid at Family Video because like
Hmm.
the cover of it is basically the cover of the movie with like
Yep.
the big coat and the blacked out face and all that. And I was like, that's scary. And then even if I got it at that time, it wouldn't even matter if I played it. It wouldn't have meant anything to me, but it continues on the story from the movie, which is cool. But yeah, go play it. My number one is something that you'd never think of. You probably have never seen it, and that saddens me greatly. But it's the 2010s, A Nightmare on Elm Street. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna make the joke about Rob Zombie's Halloween being my favorite remake, but I forgot to make the joke. So at
Yeah,
least
very
at least we
good.
both had the same joke in mind.
I put some effort into this joke by wearing this shirt as well.
I
Like this
I got the
actually
I got the
is.
gist of I know I got the gist of it right at the beginning. I didn't say anything, but
I didn't want to say anything either. I just wanted it to sort of soak in. I was even at the very, very beginning, I was gonna be like, this is a hint at my number one, but I was like, no, no, no.
no.
Anyway, my actual number one is The Thomas Crown Affair, starring Pierce Brosnan, Rene Russo, and it is like the quintessential heist movie. It is just so good. Like the original had uh Steve McQueen in it,
Mm.
and it's just I don't know, Faye Dunaway and Steve McQueen. And rather than like they classed it up so much, they made it just so good. Like anybody that knows heist movies and knows this movie, they love it. And it's like uses a very specific song in it that is so notable as well. I can't think of what the song is called, and obviously I can't play it, but you would know it. If you heard it, you would know it. It's it's not like a actual song with words. It's part of like the score of the movie, but
Yes.
I don't know, it's so good. Like the original, they're planning to like rob a bank in a really fancy way. Like it's so just like what? And the Pierce Brosnan's character, Thomas Crown, he's like a very rich guy, and he goes and he creates an elaborate plan to steal a painting from a museum. And it's a really famous painting, very notable, very cool. He has like every single little thing accounted for, and it's like Ocean's 11 if Ocean's 11 only had Pierce Brosnan in it.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed
Him.
she kissed me.
And I like that. I like that. It came between The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day, I believe. So it was during his James Bond time as well.
Fucking
And
awesome.
it is just
I've
incredible.
never even heard of this movie.
That disgusts me greatly. I'm shocked because it is probably looked at as maybe like it'd be on the list probably of 100 greatest movies of all time.
Very good. I'll get back to it when I watch it in 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And as much as I love Willard probably would not be on that list, nor would The Invisible Man or The Thing probably would be, but yeah, the Thomas Crown Affair certainly would be. It's just so good. And there's a twist too. I can't share what the twist is, but there's a twist.
What a twist!
And it's just so damn good. In fact, I'm gonna rewatch it. I should have rewatched it in preparation for this because it's been a few years since I've seen it. But if anybody goes, you stupid, two stupid pieces of shit, you're not gonna
Yes.
put it on your list, you trash monglers. And I would say to you, I would love to put it on my list. The problem is, it's
The
only ever
second
been
movie.
made a movie one
No.
time. No.
You know, well, here,
The-
okay, I
the
was thinking
original
about this though.
is not a movie. It's a mini
True.
series. It's
Yeah.
a TV show.
But then
So-
also at the other end of the coin here, Brandon, I was thinking about things like that people call remakes, but technically it's a second adaptation on film. So is it really a remake? You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
but
Well, you have
you know
to,
what? Then at this point, I mean, Frankenstein, is that a remake because they've done so many of them because it's based on a book, or is it an adaptation?
Oh yeah, but nothing
I don't
beats
know.
the original.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
except that Robert De Niro one.
With Kenneth Branagh in it as well.
Yes, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Yeah, so no, that is tricky as well because you could say The Thing is just another adaptation of the short story, which it is.
Yeah, so I
but
guess
John
I guess you're
Carpenter was
getting
not a
into-
fan of the short story. He was a fan of the original movie. So he actively remade that movie. Yeah, it would be my number one. Hands down, it would be my number one. It, triumphed over everything in that original one.
Well, Mike Hanlon said I had to go.
Tim Curry's iconic performance is great, but Don't Shoot the Messenger, Bill Skarsgård is better. So everything about that is better, but you can't take a TV show, turn it into a movie, and call it a remake. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you just can't. No. If you put it on your list, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm happy that you didn't, so I could have this rant. No, stop calling it a remake. No. Anyway. Did our list reflect your list, or was there some things that we didn't talk about and you're like, there's no way that should not be on your list? Like, are you too stupid? We probably
Yes.
are. And let us know down below all about that. So please share with us your top 5 remakes that are actually better than the original. And throw us some honorable mentions too. Hell, let's make it fun. Give us a top 10.
Yeah, you're not on a time constraint. You're probably procrastinating something else you're supposed to be doing anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. And
How
even
did I
if you
just
are in
read
a
your
time
mind?
constraint like us, just blow right past that, just like you at a stop sign on the street. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We really, really appreciate it. What do you think about Home Alone 2 with Tom Curry? I think it's pretty good. It's the first movie I could think of that he was in. Anyway. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.